Hello and welcome back to my channel. So obviously my channel is all like pre-PA geared, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to sprinkle in some other types of videos. So I've seen these products everywhere, The Ordinary, and I've seen them on the internet, on like Twitter, people asking if they've used them before, and a bunch of like YouTube videos on them. I realized I've been using The Ordinary for a full year now, and I've used almost 15 of their products, so I decided it was time for a review. So without further ado, here's a review of 12 of The Ordinary products. So first we're going to start out with the Granactive Retinoid 2% Emulsion. This retinoid helps reduce signs of aging. It really doesn't irritate like other retinoids do. It's also vegan, oil-free, alcohol-free, silicone-free, cruelty-free. You'll see a lot of The Ordinary products are free of all of these things. And it comes in a dark bottle to help protect the formula, which is pretty cool. The price on this retinoid is $9.80, and these prices are all coming from The Ordinary's website and are in US dollars. I haven't seen like a huge difference when using this product, but it is like a slight subtle difference when I stop using it. So I just make sure that I work it into my nightly routine because it is like a preventative type thing, it helps with premature aging. So even though I don't see like a huge improvement from it, I still believe it is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Also, I know a lot of retinoids can be very irritating to the skin and cause your skin to be, very itchy and red. I have very sensitive skin, but fortunately this really does nothing to it in terms of like bad side effects. My skin feels fine with using it. So if you're looking for a retinoid that still is like jam-packed with all the things that it should be doing and helps with aging, but don't want to really irritate your skin, I think that's a really good option for you. If I had to rate the retinoid on a scale from 1 to 10, I'd say like maybe 6.5 because like I don't see any immediate effects, but I know in the long run it's doing what it's supposed to, and like it does have like a subtle change when I don't use it in my like daily routine. So I think a 6.5 would be appropriate for that. So next up we have the Caffeine solution. So this solution comes in at $6.70. It is concentrated caffeine and EGCG from green tea leaves, so it's really to help reduce the puffiness under your eyes and help with those dark circles. The texture is kind of thick and slimy, they all really are, it's like a serum, but it really feels nice under the eyes and very moisturizing. I like to use this one at night so when I wake up my eyes aren't as puffy, and I also sometimes use it under my makeup because it helps those fine lines under my eyes not show, especially after a long day. My makeup and my powder kind of settles into fine lines, so that really helps even out everything and makes my under eyes look really plump. It really doesn't smell like coffee, it doesn't really have a scent to it at all, so if you're not a big fan of coffee, don't worry about that. To rate the caffeine serum, I would say probably an 8. It isn't like a huge change under my eyes. It's not like it goes from being super puffy to like perfectly flat and like plump and all of that. But I do see a difference when I don't use it, just like the retinoid. So I would say an 8. Okay, so next up is the Hyaluronic Acid. So this is super popular right now for like many reasons, but mostly because it is a really great moisturizer. So hyaluronic acid can actually attract up to 1,000 times its weight in water, so it makes it super moisturizing. Also, this includes vitamin B5, which really helps with the surface hydration. This formula really plumps your skin and uses multiple forms of HA to lock in the moisture, so it's not just surface level, it goes in deep too. The texture of this is kind of thick and slimy. They kind of all are, serums, but this one is better when it's applied to a damp face. I find that it tends to blend in a lot easier and it dries a little bit quicker. This hyaluronic acid comes in at $6.80. So if I had to rate the hyaluronic acid, I would say probably a 7. It did help with my moisture, but I found that my skin is oily and surprisingly it likes more oily moisturizers, like the oil serum that I'll show you in a little bit. It helped make my skin more moisturized, but it wasn't some like crazy thing that I've seen, everybody talk about. I will say that there is another serum that does have hyaluronic acid, and I'll talk about that later, and I think I like that one a little bit more than this one. But if you are new to The Ordinary, I would say definitely try this one at least because I know it has helped a lot of people and it's been a game changer. So I think since it's, not that expensive, it is a good one to at least try once. Okay, so next up is the Niacinamide plus Zinc. Out of all these products, this one is definitely in my top 3. It really does help reduce the appearance of blemishes, congestion, and it also balances the visible sebum production, which is something that I have a problem with. This one really helped me with my pore size. I stopped using it for a month and I realized my pores were getting huge, and when I started using it again, they started to shrink. On their website, they say don't use this with topical vitamin C because it can kind of counteract the vitamin C and make it not as effective. The texture of this is slimy like all the other serums, but it does dry pretty quickly. This life-altering serum comes in at only $5.90 and I definitely recommend it. The niacinamide is definitely a game changer. If I had to rate it, I'd say probably like a 9.5 out of 10. I think it was absolutely great. It really does help with your pore size, and it's something that if I don't use, I really notice it. Again, it's a very cheap option, so if you want to just try it out once to see if you like it, I think it's a really great one to be a part of your like starter pack. I don't think I gave it a full 10 because I can't use it under my makeup, because when you put it on under makeup and you know, do your beauty blender and stuff, it kind of starts to pill, especially if you're using a brush to kind of buff things out. It'll start pilling, so you really can't use it in the morning. Other than that, highly recommend it. Next up is the ever so famous AHA plus BHA Peeling Solution. Funny enough, this peeling solution became popular on TikTok because when you put it on, it looks like blood, but it really does help reduce the appearance of skin blemishes, congestion, and it helps brighten your skin. This one is really good for acne scars and dark marks also. It is a very strong acid, so it does take a while to get used to, and if you have sensitive skin, you might want to try leaving it on for like 3 minutes first, and then maybe 5, and then try the full 10. Texture again is kind of slimy, but this is only a mask and you only leave it on for about 10 minutes, so it's not too bad. The price of this peeling solution is $7.20, which is really not bad for what you're getting. I don't want to be one of those girls that like with music says, oh, I listened to that band first, but I've been using this since last January, so over a year, and honestly, this is just as great as TikTok makes it out to be. If you have any dark marks or really want to brighten the appearance of your skin and want some exfoliation, this is a chemical exfoliant, so it will really help do all of those things. This is definitely a game changer, so I'd say I'd give it probably a 9 out of 10 because it really does make a difference on your skin. You'll use it and like right after your face will be a little bit red, but like the morning after you use it especially, you just like, your skin is so bright and you feel like it's so much more clear. So I'd say even though it is very hyped on TikTok and a lot of other social media things, it is still worth the purchase. Next up is a salicylic acid. I've had this for so long, the bottle is so dirty, it's gross, sorry. So salicylic acid is definitely not a new ingredient to the whole acne world, but this is a solution and I haven't seen too many of those. This one really does help the appearance of skin blemishes and congestion, and for only $5.30, I think it is a great way to help maintain your acne. They are currently switching the formula of this solution, but they do have a mask available. I haven't used the mask, but I have heard good things. Salicylic acid is also very good to help with texture, so if you have, irregular textured skin or kind of bumpy skin, this really helps with that. Again, texture is kind of slimy, so you just have to wait till it dries, but it dries pretty quickly. I've used like face washes before that have salicylic acid, and I mean they did something, but this really helped a blemish. If I had something growing and I felt it, I would just dab that on and the next morning it wouldn't even be there anymore. So you can either use it as like a spot treatment, but I would usually put like a thin layer all over my face, and I found that that really helped. I would give it probably a 9 out of 10, not because like it had anything against it or there was something wrong with the product. I just think I used a lot of it, so that the bottle went kind of quickly, and then by the time I went to go order a new one, they were reformulating it, so I couldn't buy another bottle. That's definitely my fault, and it's my fault that I probably used so much, but that is the downside of it. So next up is the Azelaic acid suspension. So this one is supposed to brighten the tone of your skin and even out the texture. It's also an antioxidant, which is really good for your skin. This one even helped with my acne a little bit, even though it's not really meant for that. The texture is a little bit thicker, but it is still a pretty lightweight cream gel type of texture. This one is a little bit more expensive than some of the others, and it is $7.90. I honestly didn't see like a huge improvement or a change in my skin with this one. Not saying that the product is bad, it's helped a lot of people, but I think my skin just didn't really react to it. It didn't react poorly, but there just was no benefit. And by benefit, I mean I didn't really see any of like the brightening side of it. It did, like I said, help with my acne a little bit, but I don't think I would reorder it honestly because I didn't see that much of a difference compared to some of the other serums. So for me personally, I'd have to give it like a 5 out of 10 because it just really wasn't that great. But I know it's helped with a lot of other people, so maybe look into the reviews and determine if it's right for you or not. Next is a Glycolic acid toning solution. Let me just start off by saying that this is a complete 10 out of 10. I have to have this at all times. As you can see, I'm almost out of it and I have just reordered a new one because it is absolutely amazing. This toner truly does tone my skin and evens out the texture. It's a mild exfoliant, so it helps with radiance and clarity. Although it says acid, it really does not sting. I have really sensitive skin, and even when I use this, I don't find any stinging or any redness happening. So this is like a liquid, so you just use it on a cotton pad. I use it day and night. I'm not sure if you're supposed to, but I absolutely love it, so I use it as much as possible. And this Miracle in a Bottle will only cost you $8.70. Yeah, I just checked the bottle, and you're definitely not supposed to use it more than once a day. I do sometimes, not always, but this is such a great product. I love it so much. Like I said, 10 out of 10. I used it kind of on a whim. I've used toners in the past, but they haven't really done anything, and this is the first one that when I don't use it, I really notice a difference. It has quickly become my favorite skincare product, and when I go to bed, sometimes I feel a little bit lazy and I don't want to do my full skincare routine. I make sure that I at least use that. So if you're looking for a really good toner and a good acid toner, that one is perfect. So next up is the Buffet. So this is a multi-technology peptide serum. So this is really good for signs of aging and firming of the skin. It combines various amino acids and hyaluronic complexes like I was talking about before, so it is very moisturizing. The texture is a medium thick serum, and it's actually pretty good for under your makeup. That's usually what I use in the morning. Since it has many types of amino acids and different kind of complexes in there, it really is a good overall type of serum to use in the morning if you don't feel like you want to use 10 different serums at once. Hence the name Buffet. So this one is more expensive. It is $14.80, but honestly I think it's worth it, especially if you don't want to use multiple serums and you kind of want a little bit of it all-in-one. This is a good product for you. The Buffet was something that I kind of bought on a whim. I've heard some good things about it, and I bought it during one of their sales, and I actually really do like it. Like I said, it's what I use under my makeup. It doesn't pill or anything like that, and it is pretty moisturizing. I would say maybe try some of their other serums first, some of the cheaper stuff first, before you buy this if you just kind of want to dabble in the ordinary and experience it first. And then I'd say this is probably another one to order later on once you kind of build up a rapport with the ordinary. I'd probably give this product a 9 out of 10 because it doesn't have like a life-altering effect, but it is a nice addition to my morning routine. So next up is the Squalane Cleanser. To be honest, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but we're just going to go with it. So unlike a lot of other cleansers, this one does not dry your face out. After you wash, you really feel that moisturizer still in there, so it doesn't really strip your skin. You don't necessarily feel like super clean after like you do with some other cleansers, so I think this might be a good second cleanser. So do one first to make sure you get all your makeup off, and then this one to help back moisture into your skin. It is made out of squalane, which is a moisturizer, so it makes sense that this is a more creamy cleanser. If I had to give it a rating, I would say probably 6 out of 10. Not because it didn't like do what it was supposed to, but I guess that's just not the feeling that I want after a cleanser. I'm more of a person where I need to feel my skin be, a little bit like more cleaned out than that. I like using Dr. Bronner's soap, and I know that's kind of more aggressive and that may not be best for my skin, but I am someone who kind of likes that feeling. So the idea of it being moisturizing and still not oily, but having like a little bit of oil to it, wasn't my favorite texture. If you like cleansers that really do leave your skin feeling more moisturized and not as stripped, then I think that's perfect for you. So next up actually is the 100% plant-derived squalane. So this is an oil that's for surface hydration, and this is honestly such a nice oil that will leave your face feeling super moisturized, but not like ridiculously oily or greasy. It is surprisingly really nice under makeup. Even with oily skin, I found that my makeup actually goes on much smoother. The texture is obviously very oily, but it soaks in quite quickly. So actually after about like 10 minutes, your skin doesn't look really as oily as you think it would. I don't know how many times I just said oily, but how else do you explain an oil? Surprisingly, I have oily skin, but I have loved this. It looks really great under my makeup because a lot of times my makeup around here would kind of cling to my skin because it was too dry. So this really helps combat that. I also like to set my makeup with powder, and this has kind of helped my face from getting cakey or drying up. It helps it retain the moisture, but not look oily. If I had to rate this product, I'd probably give it a 9 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10 because I don't think I cannot live without it. It is nice and it helps with my makeup and it helps moisturize, but I think there are also a lot of products that I use that kind of can make up for that, but it is really great, and if you like oils and like surface hydrators, then I think that's a really great option for you. And last but not least, we have their Serum Foundation. So that is what I am currently wearing now, and I am the shade 2.0N, which is light medium. neutral. They have a bunch of colors online and sometimes I'm not the greatest with picking my shades, so at first this was a little bit too dark for me, which is surprising. I'm very pale, but this was just not my color, and then after I tanned a little bit, it ended up being perfect for me. So like I said, this foundation comes in a pretty good color range. You have to check their website to see all of them. It's kind of hard to pick your color, obviously, when you're not in person, but they're pretty good at returns, and they also kind of explain everything and break down like undertones and all of that. The formula is very lightweight and it really does feel like a second skin. However, it has pretty good coverage for being so thin. The foundation did not oxidize much and you really didn't have to use much powder to set it. It does still have a dewy finish if you like that. However, I kind of like mine a little bit more matte and usually have to use a decent amount of powder and leaves me a little bit more cakey. But I did not have this problem with this foundation. So when I first bought this foundation, I didn't use it because it wasn't my right color. But as soon as it actually matched me and I've started using it, I fell in love. I really like the idea of having a foundation look like a second skin, and I've wanted to be the person that uses BB creams, but I just really don't like them. So I found that this was a happy medium between like a medium coverage foundation and a BB cream. In all honesty, I'd probably give it a 10 out of 10 because it's exactly what I was looking for in a foundation, something to be very thin, look like a second skin, but still cover up all my redness and whatnot. And it's something I probably will be ordering again. So I'd say for acne, these are my top 3. So I would do the Niacinamide, the AHA plus BHA, and then the Salicylic Acid. For texture irregularities, I would use the AHA plus BHA and then the Glycolic Acid Toning Solution. This one, honestly, is probably your best bet. To help with pore size, the Niacinamide is definitely your go-to. And then for moisturizing, I would say the Buffet and the Plant-Derived Squalane are really good options. I obviously haven't tried all of their products, but I think if there was one that I would really recommend to people, it would definitely be the Glycolic Toning Solution. This has helped me so much, and I think if I had to only order one product for the rest of my life from The Ordinary, that this would probably be it. I'm definitely not a beauty guru or a dermatologist by any means, but if you have any questions about any of these products I showed or how I use them or any other products that I'm thinking about getting at The Ordinary or like to try, you can always message me on my Instagram at whitecoatchasing or leave a comment below. If you are one of my pre-PA friends and you watch this, I love you so much, and I love that you also like skincare enough to watch this entire YouTube video. Also, if you're liking my videos, either this one or my pre-PA videos, I'd really appreciate it if you like them and also subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and hope you have a great day. Bye!